This is Full Throttle, the Presidio Group's automotive industry podcast. I'm your host, Jason Stein, Presidio's marketing and communications advisor and host of SiriusXM's Cars and Culture on Business Channel 132. On a monthly basis, Full Throttle serves as the industry's meeting point for great conversations with leaders across the automotive world.
What you have is a need for simultaneous equations on a massive scale. So understanding who's looking and what they're looking at and who represents that party, and understanding the driving pieces of digital retail and the driving pieces of brand and the driving pieces of the market and the availability of the car and the features, whether it's new or used. There's just so many pieces that need to come together in a live conversation. So when you're looking at so much detail, AI can bring it all simultaneously.
Artificial intelligence. There are few phrases generating more buzz today than AI. It's at the center of every conversation, and it's the epicenter of change within the auto industry. From ChatGPT to automated methods of customer service, the possibilities are endless and the opportunities seemingly limitless. But how will AI change the auto retail technology space moving forward? Well, one individual has been considering the implications of AI for longer than many in the space because she's been in the middle of the conversation for so long, just not necessarily in automotive. Now that's changed. Josselyn Boudett is founder and chairman of Stella Automotive and is a serial entrepreneur with 25 years working in the field of artificial intelligence. She's widely recognized as a thought leader in AI for large enterprises. Now she's shifting her focus to automotive. What are the lessons learned and borrowed from other industries? And where's the future of automotive and AI as Stella grows in the space? And make no mistake, like AI, Stella is aiming to learn and grow. Recently, the Presidio Group led a fundraising effort for Stella. Through its deep relationships with the dealer community, Presidio helped Stella procure strategic capital and industry advice that will help address challenges faced by dealers. In May, Stella announced that it closed its seed round of financing, securing convertible promissory notes from strategic investors, including Maruni USA, the Pohanka Automotive Group, Zube Family Enterprises, and the Presidio Group. Presidio has served as the exclusive financial advisor and banker to Stella since its market introduction in 2022. So what's ahead for Stella AI? Today, Josselyn tells that story on Full Throttle.
Hi, this is Josselyn Boudett with Presidio Group's Full Throttle podcast.
Well, there's no other subject that is dominating the airwaves as much as artificial intelligence is. What is it? How will it change our lives? Everybody seems to have an idea around it. And I'll even go back to the 60 Minutes broadcast recently that said that when you look on our time as a moment where civilization transformed, you can come up with a couple of different events: fire, agriculture, electricity, and now AI. Josselyn, welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's start with the basics. What is it? I know you've been working on it for a very long period of time, but give us the little summation, if you will, of artificial intelligence and why in the automotive retail space we really need to care about it.
Well, artificial intelligence is a very, very important technology that finally is acknowledged by the world this year, especially with the ChatGPT launch. I personally have been in this space since the late 90s, but for a very long period of time, most people didn't understand what it was. So I'd say right now it's largely understood as conversational AI, but before that, it's been around routing airplanes and helping optimize all sorts of search technology and helping cure cancer and do a million other things. So from a person in the field, it's certainly not a new topic, but it is certainly very new to have the market so interested in it.
And why is the automotive market interested in it? And more importantly, Josselyn, why are you interested in automotive?
Well, I think there's a lot to unpack. Automotive can benefit greatly because it's largely a customer-facing market, and customer engagement requires intelligence. And there's a lot of information in this market about cars and distribution and logistics and features and all sorts of things coming out on a very regular basis. And then there's the complexity of the distribution models. And then there's the consumer market, which is also quite complex, with different people with different backgrounds and different geographies with different economic interests and goals. And so when you put all that together, it's a really exciting market for AI because it involves so many moving parts. And where AI really shines is where there's complexity.
And complexity because simplicity can be created, or at least certain tasks can be created to make life simpler. Am I summarizing that correctly?
Yeah, what you have is a need for simultaneous equations on a massive scale. So understanding who's looking and what they're looking at and who represents that party, and understanding the driving pieces of digital retail and the driving pieces of brand and the driving pieces of the market and the availability of the car and the features, whether it's new or there's just so many pieces that need to come together in a live conversation. So when you're looking at so much detail, AI can bring it all simultaneously. Where humans are really linear, first you have to find out, well, who are you? And go look them up, and then what car? And then go look that up. And having command of data has made that faster, but not fast enough, not compared to the appetite of consumers who are really getting used to instant gratification in other markets. And they have very low tolerance, in my opinion, today, and even more so going forward for delay.
So, what advances have been made in the field of AI that would now make this a conversation piece? Because everywhere we turn these days, we're having a conversation about the subject.
Well, conversation would be the key word, Jason. Conversational AI is what came out this year with the Chat GPT. The large language models are all the buzz that people are learning about. But that is really computers for a long period of time have been able to do mathematical equations, predictions, and math. And now it's able to talk, and it has command of language the way it has command of formulas. So when you have command of language, you've just taken on a whole new category, being able to write language and repurpose it and create new language in the form of conversations and or computer code or other things.
What changed? I mean, you've been in and around this for so long. And I know you've told me that the change that we're going through now is leaps and bounds from the change that would have occurred in the last, say, 10 years. So,
well, what changed was the compute power, the training necessary, and it was just time, compute power, and money. And what happened is the language systems needed enough data and enough processing power to learn language.
but given your experience, could you have predicted what we're going through now?
Yes, I think everybody's predicted it for a long. I mean, I think talking computers were predicted in before computers were invented, but certainly after computers were invented. And TV's been showing talking computers and talking computer systems. So I think what changed is language, but AI has been around for a very long time. What's new is that it's talking on a massive scale and can create and repurpose content. But those concepts have been around since the 50s and 60s. So what's exciting is that they're here for people from the field.
What I remember is open the let's start that again. What I remember was the HAL 9000 and 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
And a lot of those sort of machine-enabled functions that were occurring. There is the thought that AI, and this goes back to the 60 Minutes interview, AI will impact everything. It was said during that segment, every product, every company, there will be a superpowered assistant across everything that we do. Do you concur?
I do. I think that AI, a massive distribution of intelligence is what is occurring. It's very early stage, but intelligence everywhere and in everything is what will happen. Intelligence in the form of customer service in the area of cars, prediction, logistics, precision. I don't even think we've begun.
And to think that 2 years ago, we didn't even really talk about this subject.
Well,
or some did.
Yeah,
You
I
did.
founded my company in 2015, so
You did.
I was talking about it a long time ago, but it is new to the general market, and I think very exciting from the perspective of customer engagement.
What's also new to you is automotive. So relatively new. So what are you experiencing in automotive that you maybe didn't expect before?
Just the complexity facing the dealers. I have a lot of compassion for the dealer in the equation as to really their ability to engage at a local level with a consumer, I think is valuable and will be valuable on a sustained level. But they're going to need tools to do it because there's just so much data and so much context that comes to bear on a transaction. Whether that be delivering a car for service or for a test drive, or whether just answering questions about a vehicle. Most of the people working in the market are still quite disabled. It's shocking how little they know when engaging with a consumer.
So if I'm at a dealership listening to this program, how will my world be different by AI, say over the next 3 years, 2 to 3 years?
Well, if I knew that, anyway, I think a lot of people speculate about the question of where we're going to be in 2 or 3 years. It's a complex question because there's so many moving parts. But from an AI perspective, certainly, we're very much focused on the customer engagement, on an AI representing the dealer as a staff member would, and helping staff members themselves engage with customers. When you look at the consumer experience, so much easier if questions are answered fast and quickly about inventory, features, pricing, logistics. So much easier if it's predicting when a car needs maintenance and swapping it out. And just taking care of customers so that their time isn't wasted. We find just consistently across the sequence of events and engaging in automotive is just an inefficient use of time, both by the staff members of the dealer and also by the consumers and by the brands themselves.
So it really does come down to that efficiency point that we mentioned earlier.
Yes. Yeah.
Stella recently announced that it had closed its seed round of financing and secured convertible promissory notes from several strategic investors, including Maruni USA, the Pohanka Automotive Group, Zube Family Enterprises, and even the Presidio Group. Tell me what that meant for you, what that means for the company.
It's really important. I think it's non-trivial to enter the automotive space. It's a complex marketplace with complex market dynamics. And to have partners to come in that we can listen to and trust, that represent the dealer narrative and can help us navigate some choices as to how to prioritize what to deliver and what's needed the most or where the pain points are in the marketplace is incredibly valuable for us. And then obviously just the references. They're incredible references in their own right. The fact that they chose Stella and believe in the product, they're rolling it out themselves and investing in it is such a good indicator for my company, which is in fairly early stage.
And your aim is to increase your focus on sales, market share, and innovative new products. So what will we see from Stella in the future?
Well, Stella Automotive launched less than a year ago. In the fall of last year, we hired our first sales force. We've been in market. We have over 100 groups on the platform now, and we're growing rapidly. We started with a booking agent that is very robust and can accommodate booking at almost any dealer. We integrate with schedulers and we do custom settings on transportation type, op code, and call routing over that product, which is a booking agent on telephone. We have since launched a receptionist that replaces an IVR and answers the main line at car dealers. That is now using natural language to understand consumers. It is transferring calls and answering core questions for consumers that are calling all in one ring with a perfect branding experience. And then in the months to come on the docket we're rolling out messaging, where we'll be able to book appointments over SMS and web. And then we have a total customer experience product expected for NADA next year. So we have sort of leading edge R&D going on with those investors. And we have a larger dealer advisory group, not just those investors, but other groups as well, a few other large groups that are all participating in working with conversational AI in their dealers.
And you're hiring scientists and engineers like crazy, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
Where are you pulling them from?
Well,
And what are they doing?
Well, we have a core team that is delivering voice technology. So I think that the real focus is on automotive. And we made some key hires in the product management space. Ben Okuka joined us. He worked at Rocket Auto and at Ford Direct. We have a few people that have come over from, the likes of Conversica and LivePerson, and then quite a few people have come from Cox. But we're really building a narrative around AI in automotive and the customer experience in automotive, and looking very carefully at what OEMs and dealers are hoping to deliver to customers and accelerating that cycle.
What are you learning the most here in your 1 year experience being immersed in automotive retail?
Well, I've learned certainly that the dealers are facing quite a lot of complexity and that AI can help. We look at when we look at the car dealer, the number of data sources and with the DMS and the number of systems they have between the CRM and federating data in a customer data platform, CDP, and engaging with digital marketing. I think AI can inform a lot of that. You're looking at perfect attribution analysis, perfect customer engagement, perfect record keeping, perfect execution on scripting, perfect analytics and predictions on repetitive processes. I think those are, as we see those gain traction and work, I think it gets more and more exciting to see how we'd be able to help. What we're going after is the highly repetitive things, so that the people and the dealers can engage with the customer on more complex tasks.
The 60 Minutes piece referenced the fact that very predictively that 2/3 of jobs by definition will change in the future, and that will be an opportunity for individuals to build new skills and learn to work alongside machines. Is that your view of it as well?
Yeah, I think it's a moving target. What people are doing is changing and will continue to change. Even within my company, things that we did manually, we now do automatically. I had a QA department that manually QA'd, and now I have an automated QA department. I've had a transformation on a lot of cycles. And I tell you, it's a very dynamic environment, keeping abreast of what's going on. But what we do is just show up every day and lean in. And we talk to dealers, we work with the dealers, and we just keep evolving.
Because of your experience in so many other industries, give us a little snapshot of what you've been a part of in the past that has really resulted in change as a result of AI, non-automotive.
Yeah, I'd say, early in my career, I worked in the patent space. We used natural language technology to search for patent data and patent claims. So looking to enforce a patent or defend a patent, finding information online, and then looking for claims that match that type of technology. And then working with modeling teams and complexity science teams that bring multiple disciplines together to look at a problem. We modeled looking at things like actuarial programs for healthcare, transportation modeling for airlines, baggage and we did retail store strategies for where to open stores in the U.S., what markets, using AI to simulate shopping experiences. I mean, I've worked on a lot of projects, also worked with AI in the search space. We sold algorithms, my team, and some of the people that joined me here, I worked with for 20 years, and we sold algorithms into Microsoft and eBay to help find things. We've done question answering systems, talking to a book or talking to a database for large global companies with highly technical data. But most recently, we did a lot of work with parts and repairs. So we worked in the heavy equipment space, and the Stella platform actually authored and authors today a large number of repair instructions for consumers on how to change oil or fix tracks or replace wear parts on heavy equipment, gives advice to technicians and helps them find comparable repairs. We've also done reverse parts lookups where people don't know the part number, but they know the area. And so we can use natural language to derive the part number through a series of disambiguation verbally. So what that nets out to is we've helped very large companies engage with consumers on repairs, parts, and services. So we've got a lot of experience in that specific category.
Final thing, there are some who talk about the concerns over AI. There's a healthy amount of hand wringing that goes on, Josselyn. How do you address those who say that there are dangers that are out there?
Well, I'll leave that to Elon and other people to give everybody their warnings. But from my perspective, just for this industry and this audience, I would compare it to self-driving cars. I had an investor send me an article that there's still no self-driving car, and will it ever arrive? And isn't it sad that cities are so complicated? But if you turn around and look at what self-driving cars, the industry has done, you can drive most places automated, you can park automated, and you can do a lot of things that self-driving cars have brought. And if you look at the vast amount of technology that's rolled out related to automation of driving, it's astounding how much a car can help you and make it easier, in the camera systems and the evolution of that. And I would say AI, the big scary thing that's coming, you could keep the narrative on the scary thing coming, or turn around and look at all of the awesomeness that is coming out practically daily, transforming and making things better in the automotive industry, better around diagnostics, repairs, and prediction, onboard vehicles, and helping consumers, make everything easier. And I focus on, the constructive things that we're working on. And I think the scary story is there. I don't want to speculate on it, but the bigger story is the innovation and the improvements that have come. If you just look around, and it's hard to remember 10 years ago that if you wanted to see a movie, you had to get a newspaper. It's hard to even tell a young person that was hard to get data, and yet it's still hard to find out where you can find a car, right? So things like that, I think are changing so fast. 2 years ago, now you can search anywhere for anything, and you just look at how much has come and how fast it's coming. I would point in that direction as constructive, useful, a transformative experience. I think buying a car or servicing a car or engaging with automotive could be one of the more innovative experiences. You look at all the technology in cars today and what it's like to be in a car. You need a similar experience of what it's like to be in the dealer.
So well said. We'll leave it at that. Josselyn, thank you for telling us a little bit more about Stella. And we will watch with great interest as the AI road unfolds in front of us. Thank you so much.
Jason, thank you.
thanks again to my guest, Josselyn Boudett, founder and chairman of Stella Automotive. And thanks for listening to Full Throttle. Come back to us later in the month for our next interview on this platform. Suggestions? Email me at jstein@thepresidiogroup.com. And to learn more about the Presidio Group, go to thepresidiogroup.com or follow us on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening.